Is it too late, or is there anything that we can do about this?
We need to understand how important it is to engage Islam, to drop this PC mentality, to become conversant with Islam and with Christianity. As evangelicals, we need to be able to preach the message. Nothing's going to be able to solve this except for the truth of Christ. Now, we have had 1,700 years of free ability to preach Christianity in the West, and that is coming to an end with our generation. We need to be the ones who will take a stand to stem this tidal wave. I'm not being alarmist here. I'm not. If I were being alarmist, I could say much bigger things. But what is happening for sure is that our country is changing. And in order to stop that, or at least to stem the growth, is to understand Islam, understand Christianity, and preach the message fervently out of love. If the church stood up, man, Mike, if the church stood up and defended Jesus with the gospel, we'd be able to fight back Islam.
What should we do? I mean, what could I do? What can our listeners do? Well, there are some simple steps.
There are various ways to get involved. If you want to get involved in a personal level, just start praying, start learning more about Islam, and start engaging the Muslims around you. It's not an easy process. The average Muslim takes 7 years to become a Christian. But to engage and discuss with the Muslim who might otherwise have no Christian contact, no understanding of what Christianity actually is imperative if Christ is going to gain a foothold in this community. On a larger scale, you can get involved with an organization such as ours, Acts17 Ministries, or any number of organizations which are dedicated towards educating others about the growing threat and about how Christ can solve this threat. You can find our website at www.acts17.net.
ACTS17.net.
Correct.
And what else can they do?
Those are the most important things. Engage Islam, up your personal life, understand why you're a Christian, for Pete's sake. One of the reasons it took me so long to become a Christian was because every Christian I talked to would give me no good reason why they were Christian. And so I didn't want to become one either. So understand why you believe Jesus died on the cross, rose from the dead, and claimed to be God. Understand why you are so able to trust Jesus, and not just with personal testimony, but with good reasons that will be able to affect others. And then go share that with your Muslim friends out of love, not out of fear. People can smell fear a mile away. People can also smell an agenda a mile away. Go become friends with the Muslims around you and share with your witness and your testimony.
And when you're sharing your testimony, as you were saying earlier, when we're having conversations with Muslims, don't be afraid of offending them. You don't want to do things to provoke Muslims or come out and be nasty about Islam, like calling Muhammad a murdering polygamous pedophile or something like that. You don't want to do something like that. But you can point out some of the problems with Muhammad and Islam, right?
I would stay away from talking about Muhammad right off the bat.
Okay.
The first thing I would do is to establish a relationship of love, and then start talking about Jesus, and start talking about who he is and who he is not. He is the Jesus of Christianity. He is not the Jesus of Islam. And then from there, once you feel comfortable that your friends aren't going to get offended by you, then you can start talking about Muhammad and the Quran.
But it's fine to come out and say the real Jesus is the Jesus of the New Testament and not the Jesus of the Quran. You're fine to do something like that, you're saying.
Yes. But in the context of a relationship of love, make sure they know that you care about them first.
Fantastic. Well said. Dr. Nabeel Qureshi, thank you so much for joining us today. These are just very sobering thoughts that you've given us, and yet very informative. And let's hope that Christians around North America wake up before it's too late.
Thanks, Dr. Licona.